sir, congratulations on the completion of 12 years. What does it feel like?
For the entire country, it's a great moment because for decades, we have had governments which were not so sensitive towards people's needs. The last 12 years, people have seen a new form of governance, people have seen that sensitivity, people have seen that care for the people, and the people at the bottom of the pyramid, people with lowest incomes, they have seen a change in their lives.
Right. So, since 2014, what would you categorize as one of your biggest hits, one or several of the hits that you feel have impacted on improving people's lives, and what your ambitions were for governance? One, on that. And second, where do you think that there is a lot more to be done to achieve those goals?
If you look at the journey of last 12 years, the change in people's lives which has happened at the grassroots level, that is really visible. Look at the way toilets brought dignity to women. Look at the way financial inclusion happened. More than 54 crore accounts opened under the Jan Dhan Yojana. All those people today have access to investment opportunities, access to loans, access to saving instruments. That thing has entirely changed. Look at the number of houses which have been constructed. More than 4 crore houses constructed in the entire country. Look at the way each and every village has got the basic facilities like good roads, like electricity connections. All these things have really made a big difference in people's lives. Our Prime Minister has given us the target of 2047 Viksit Bharat, which means a lot more has to be done to reach that level where the basic human needs and the basic infrastructure which we have been able to achieve till today needs to be taken to the level of a developed country. Lot more needs to be done on that, and we are relentlessly working in that direction.
So in these 12 years, there are two major shocks which have hit the Indian economy. One is the COVID crisis, and the second one is the West Asia crisis. Now, despite these two crises, do you feel that you will be able to reach the goals that have been set forward for this country and for the government?
Yes, we will be. And the reason for that is the entire growth strategy is very clearly thought through. It's basically, there are 4 pillars on which this entire growth strategy rests. Pillar 1 is focus on investment. Investment in physical, digital and social infrastructure. Pillar 2 is huge amount of inclusive growth. The examples I gave you about toilet construction, house construction, opening Jan Dhan accounts, having 80 crore people get the basic ration every month. This is probably the biggest inclusive growth program that anywhere in the world we have seen. Third is the big focus on manufacturing and innovation. Fourth is a lot of simplification. More than 1,600 laws have been removed from the statute book. Lots and lots of simplification examples are there, whether it is telecom sector, railway sector I can speak of.
Right.
Every sector, a lot of simplification has happened. So this very well thought through strategy is holding us good despite the shocks. And we have seen the contrast with 2008, the global financial crisis. Compared to that, the way our economy has handled under Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji's leadership, the economy has handled the two shocks reasonably well.
So one of the major flagship was Make in India, right from 2014. 12 years later, when we're talking about GDP, it's wavers between 15 to 17%. What really went wrong? Why didn't it come up higher than what it should have? This is something which makes news worldwide when foreign investment, we are trying to attract more. The talk always is that GDP is not as much as it should be.
So I'll give you 2 examples of successful Make in India. First is electronics. If you look at the export categories throughout last 30-40 years, electronics was never among the top 4 or top 5 exported items. It would have been maybe far below. But 2025, electronics emerged as the 3rd largest category for exported goods out of India. And if you look at single most exported item, earlier it used to be diesel, and then used to be gems and jewelry, then used to be textiles, garments, engineered goods. Last year it was mobile phones. Our electronics production has grown 6 times in the last decade, and exports have grown 8 times in the last decade. We are having employment of about 25 lakh persons employed in the electronics sector.
Okay.
So that kind of thing we have seen how
These are new jobs you're talking about?
these are new jobs. 25 lakh new jobs in the electronics sector in the last few years. So that kind of expansion is there in defense manufacturing, in technical textile manufacturing, in automobile manufacturing, sector after sector. I can give you one more example. When you look at the railway manufacturing, the most important and the most difficult part is the whole railway electronics part of it, which is like 40% of cost of a train is railway electronics. Last year, we started exporting railway electronics to, guess what? To Germany, to Switzerland, to France, to Italy, and to US. So that kind of thing has started happening in our country in such a big way. And see, to have that inertia of 40-50 years, it has taken some time to reach this level, and the growth is now very sustained.
So there were large-scale labor-intensive jobs which were, say, in textile, in footwear, and like you said, electronics assembly. But these were initially envisioned that these would be the jobs. But of late, one has seen that in textiles and in the farm and unorganized sector, it's low productivity jobs which are happening. It's not happening in the high sector jobs. So what is it that can incentivize more job creation in the country?
So what would you say the example that I gave you about
electronics? Yes.
About the, let's say, the railway electronics part,
okay,
right? Is that a low productivity or a high productivity?
High productivity because of exports. Yeah.
And even for the electronics which is consumed within the country, these are all high productivity jobs. Look at semiconductor chips. The manufacturing of semiconductors was like a dream for last more than 6 decades. Prime Minister Nehru tried, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi tried. I mean, multiple attempts were taken in the past, and finally we have success today. That is low productivity or high productivity. There is certainly high value chain item. There are many such examples I can give out of defense production. I can give in the engineering goods. For example, the precision components. Today we have started exporting precision components for the entire aviation sector out of India. These are very high value, low volume, because you are not going to produce too many of the precision parts. Low volume but very high value. Many such examples can be given.
So you spoke about the chip industry. There is, with regard to AI, there's a lot of talk, which says that with artificial intelligence coming in, India has lost out the race. As a result of that, foreign institutional investors feel that India is not really the success story for AI. It's lagging behind, made an entrance too late, and now we are playing catch up. So they'd rather invest in, say, a Korea or in a Taiwan. What would you say to that?
Certainly, many other countries have very well established ecosystems. For example, the example that you gave from Korea and Taiwan. Korea has had a very strong semiconductor industry for decades. Taiwan, practically 40% of the economy comes from electronics and semiconductors. These countries have built that entire ecosystem over 4 or 5 decades. We started this journey a few years ago. So certainly the comparison with those countries on the semiconductor or the AI field would certainly be, I would say, not very accurate. But I would say that the countries which use AI for increasing their productivity, the countries which have huge amount of AI diffusion, they are the ones which are going to have significant benefits coming from this new wave of technology. From what I hear from the industry, practically every sector in India is today using AI in a very big way. AI diffusion is the thing. People are using small models which are available in open source, and from our AI coach, from the AI mission, we have made about 700 odd small models which are accessible to the people free of cost. People are using those to get the productivity gains using AI. I can give you examples from railways, in the maintenance activities, in predicting the passenger load which is going to happen at a particular station, in better enforcement of law and order.
How are you using AI to predict that more trains are needed, say during Chhat Puja ke time chahiye, Durga Puja ke time chahiye, summer holidays mein zyada trains chahiye, because we just see still those visuals of overcrowding during these peak seasons.
So last Chhat Durga Puja, the entire history of railways, if you look at it, each Durga Puja, Chhat and summer season used to be a major challenge for everybody. Entire last financial year, if you look at it, we ran 80,000 special trains based on the analysis of where the load is coming from. Entire the Durga Puja and Chhat, there was, Congress did try to put some old visuals and then they retracted, but by and large people were able to travel. This entire Holi went off very reasonably well, I would say. Summer season is right now going on. By now we have operated about 13,000 special trains already, and summer season ends somewhere in end of June. That is when the people start coming back to their after the summer vacation is over. So till end of the June we'll be running about 18,000 or maybe 20,000 special trains.
But why is it still difficult for ease of travel, in the sense that booking a ticket, getting it, you're on the wait list, the
See, last
hassles.
60-70 years the investment in railways was peanuts. It was like 20,000 crore or something. Prime Minister Modi started increasing it in 2014. He merged the budgets. Railway budget used to be a separate budget. General budget used to be a separate budget. In 2016, he merged both the budgets. From 35,000 crore rupees investment, he has brought it to 2,72,000 crore rupees. It's a slack of 50-60 years which has to be filled up in the last 10 years.
It's still the preferred mode of transport for the middle class and lower middle class.
Absolutely,
right?
and that is what our focus is. In just after the COVID, we have added about 2,000 more train services after COVID. And in the next 5 years, we want to add at least 3,000 more regular trains. Okay. Once you add that many number of trains, and to do that you need more capacity. That's why when you look at the entire growth strategy, the first pillar of investment, we have been able to add about 36,000 kilometers of railway tracks. You need a railway track to run a train, right?
This is not upgradation, this is new tracks.
Upgradation is of the order of about 75,000 kilometers.
Okay.
That is of the order of 75,000 kilometers. Now about 80% of our tracks are already upgraded in the last. So much has happened which is not really, when you see a new train, you see something, right? But the work which is done before that to enable that train to move, that is the work which has gone in, that grunt work, that huge effort which has gone in upgrading the infra, getting the trains safe, improving the safety practices, improving the maintenance practices. All these are there which has to be done, and that is being done.
Also, when I said about booking tickets, the ease of the cleanliness aspect, the ease of travel, just to make it a pleasant experience like you have in Europe or you have in the developed countries, even in Southeast Asia, when you take a train, it's a pleasant experience from the time of booking the ticket, reaching the platform, getting into the train and reaching your destination. Here, it's always this bathroom's not clean, everything is not safe.
You will definitely see these changes. You can already see these changes in so many of our trains. If you look at the stations, how they were 10 years ago, and look at the stations, how they are today. So many people have given this feedback. So many foreigners have made videos about their travel in the train in the recent times. That change is visible. I would say lot more work has to go in. Huge amount of effort has to go in, and we are putting that effort. We are relentlessly working on that. Okay. And the results are visible.
The bullet train project.
Bullet train project has progressed very well. We are constructing almost 15 kilometers a month. By now, practically the entire Gujarat section, out of that, the first section that we have taken as a priority section, Surat to Bilimora, that will be inaugurated next year in August 2027. And after that, section by section, then after Surat Bilimora, we'll be opening Vapi to Surat, then we'll be opening Vapi to Ahmedabad, and then Thane to Ahmedabad, and then Mumbai to Ahmedabad. So that entire section will be open. And then the next corridors, we have already started working on them. These corridors will bring a huge change. Mumbai-Ahmedabad journey will become 1 hour and 57 minutes, under 2 hours. Mumbai-Pune journey will become 48 minutes. Chennai-Bangalore journey will be 73 minutes. Bangalore Hyderabad journey will be 2 hours and 8 minutes. Pune to Hyderabad journey will be just about 2 hours and a few minutes. Lucknow to Delhi journey will be about 2 hours.
Okay. So, would you say that the bullet train is one of the success stories of the India story, which you want to project to the rest of the world? Because connectivity is something which is so important for.
It is. For connectivity, our government has built airports, almost double the number of airports that were built in the country in 70 years. These are numbers which are truly there on the ground. The number of highways that we have built, 58,000 kilometers of highways, 36,000 kilometers of railway tracks, 100%, almost 99.4% of electrification, entire railway track. Look at Europe. No other country has this number, right, at this scale. UK is about some 30% or something. Germany would be about 60% or something. So that kind of electrification we have taken up in our country, and we have successfully delivered it on the ground.
Right.
So these are real changes which have happened in the country.
When we were talking about AI, we moved towards railways. I want to come back to artificial intelligence and the Indian semiconductor. What is that you have next?
These are the first.
I'm sorry, like digressing, but
these are the first two chips which are commercially manufactured in India. This one is Micron, which started commercial production on 28 February 2026. And this is chip by Keynes, which started commercial production 31st March this year. There are 12 plants which are approved under the Semiconductor mission. 2 of them have started the commercial production, these two, Micron and Keynes. Another one, CG Semi, will start commercial production in July, middle of July somewhere. And by end of this year, we'll have 4 units which are having commercial production. And we started the journey just on 1st Jan of 2022. Such a short time frame, we have been able to have reached this level.
What is the allocation that you have made for the Semiconductor mission for 2.0?
Semiconductor mission 2.0 will have a different contour.
Okay.
The first mission was to start the industry in our country, and it's an extremely complex industry. If you have to understand the complexity of this, look at the nail, right? Suppose you were to write ANI on this. Okay, with a little bit of practice you can write it. Suppose you have to write the entire Ramayana on this, full Ramayana I'm saying, then write the full Mahabharata on this. Imagine the fineness which will be required. So when you actually fabricate this wafer and put the chip design on this wafer, this is a silicon wafer on which the chip is designed. You work at such precision which even a human eye with a microscope cannot see. It has to be done in that kind of environment. Even one dust particle in a room of this size can create contamination. So that level of precision is really, really difficult. So we have been able to achieve that in the first part of our semiconductor mission. We have now talent, more than 75,000 engineers are trained in this. More than 300 universities are teaching the students to design chips. 2 nanometer chips are designed in India, the most advanced chips in the world, including NVIDIA chips, including Intel chips. They are all designed in India now. And with this manufacturing journey, Make in India journey, we have made a good presence in the world. World today recognizes India as a country which will become a major semiconductor designing and manufacturing country in the coming years. And now in the Semicon 2.0, our focus will be on getting the other parts of the ecosystem into place. The machines which manufacture semiconductors. These are extremely, extremely complex and highly concentrated in 3 or 4 countries. We would like to get those manufacturing and design activities to India. Second, we have a large talent base for designing chips. In the first version of the semiconductor mission, we could get about 40 startups which design semiconductor chips, and they are getting VC funding now. That's the deep tech part of the startup world, and it has made very good progress. In Semicon 2.0, we would have design as the number 1 priority. Design number 1 priority, the machines which go into manufacturing of semiconductors, the chemicals and the gases. There are about 250 chemicals and about 50 gases which go into manufacturing a chip. So all that we would like to focus on in the second part of the mission, And we certainly would be kind of interest that the world has today and the success with which our country has delivered. The world certainly will be coming up in much larger numbers in the second version.
You were talking about creating an ecosystem. Supply chain issues in this? Are there problems?
Very complex supply chain. It's an extremely complex supply chain. To give you some examples, in a semiconductor fab, if let's say there is a long pipe which is delivering a very pure form of a particular chemical. If the pipe is not welded exactly in the way it has to be welded, or if it is not twisted exactly in the way it has to be fitted there, then the chemical would get contaminated. If the chemical has to travel just 1 meter extra, then it won't be fit for producing the chips. So it's extremely complex supply chain, and that is what we have been able to achieve in the first version in such a short time of 4 years. So that's the focus of our Prime Minister. 12 years, he has given us a new way of working and taking up large challenges. That Chenab Bridge that you see there, that Chenab Bridge was unthinkable. 12 years ago, if you would talk of Chenab Bridge, this entire project was given up. Nobody was working on this project anymore after doing that Baramulla to Srinagar section, which is there on a plain in the valley side. Nobody was working on this project. Then Pamban Bridge inside the sea, taking such projects, the Atal Tunnel, the kind of projects which have been taken up, the difficulty with which these projects were viewed earlier. Our Prime Minister has given us that entire zeal of working in a way by which we can take up these challenges.
So when we talk about these highly complex industries, what would you say to the youth of the country? Should they go for pure sciences? Should they study these subjects, which is artificial intelligence, engineering, when you're showing the bridge? Should they get into these jobs, these courses, so that they can get into these streams and then have hope of getting these jobs? Or are they so skilled that you can only depend on talent which is coming from outside India?
Absolutely not. This bridge has been constructed by Indians. There are such great human stories. One person who started his career as a junior engineer, and he is now the chief project manager of this project. They are all Indians. We must take the best from any part of the world, yes. But it is our engineers who are doing this Vande Bharat train that you see, fully designed by Indian engineers, manufactured by Indian welders and Indian fitters and Indian technicians.
The reason I'm asking you, sir, is because there are many experts who are coming on television and who are writing op-eds that all we do is screwdriver technology. It's all coming
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'll show you what kind of precision our people are achieving in mobile manufacturing, which is where people, some of the big names, they say that it is a screwdriver technology. The precision is absolutely amazing, and without getting that precision, you can't even be on the shop floor. We started with finished product manufacturing. That is the way China, Vietnam, Taiwan, they all started like that.
Okay.
Then you go down to the module manufacturing. We have already reached that module manufacturing. When you look at this, it looks like a good solid block. Is there a cut you can see? Can you see a cut? You cannot see a cut, right? And this is like so many different pieces.
Wow. Okay.
This is what you saw as one solid block.
Yeah.
This kind of precision, if you achieve, then only you are allowed onto the shop floor where mobile phones are manufactured.
Okay.
Last year we exported 35,000 crore rupees components to China. Now we are manufacturing components. Already 75 factories for electronics components are under construction at this point of time, and about 250 component manufacturing factories will be set up in the coming 2 to 3 years. So we are going absolutely in the value chain the way many other countries have progressed, and it takes that kind of effort to build the ecosystem and get those jobs. That's why I say that 25 lakh jobs have been created in the electronics manufacturing. These are good quality jobs.
So we were talking earlier about Taiwan and about Korea. So the narrative is that China and Korea, Taiwan, these countries have taken such a leap forward that we are just going to become, we are playing catch up. So what happens is that, like, why can't India become like a Vietnam? Why are we not like an export house of the caliber of, say, these countries, in either in the chip industry or in the electronics field? You're saying that we're already doing it. How long before we can beat these countries?
See, these countries started manufacturing journey in early 1980s. Early 1980s is when they started this entire manufacturing thrust. We started manufacturing thrust in just about 7-8 years, 10 years ago. 1950 to 1990, 4 decades we wasted. These were lost decades, right? Entrepreneurs were made criminals. Factory Act, if something happens, it was a kind of rules and regulations which was a total waste of our country's talent. 1990, a change happened. 1990 to 2004, those 14 years, a lot of changes happened. So many sectors were opened up. The thrust which was required in that initial part was lost after 2004 to 2014. That is the time when we went back to the old 1950s kind of mindset, that left-oriented mindset, where entrepreneurs were not even allowed to use their energy and create new enterprises and create new jobs and create new employment. That was a time frame where whatever momentum was built between 1990 and 2004, that momentum was kind of lost. 2014, we started once again on that journey. Okay. Manufacturing, the single most important thing which is required in manufacturing is ability to have a very fair labor system, your ability to have quick approvals, your ability to provide credit to the people. And so the banking sector is extremely important. The banking sector was in shambles in 2014 when Prime Minister Modi ji took the responsibility of the country. Then fourth, the enterprising ability of a country. And our country has always been a manufacturing country for 2000 years. It is just in that when the British came, they killed our industry. Congress governments from 1950 to 1990, they continued that entire thing, in a sense, stopping that production processes, stymieing it, having that license permit Raj. So that entire slack, when we compare ourselves with China, Taiwan, Korea, we have to see that where they started and where we started. But I'm sure, given the kind of design capabilities that India has, and given the entrepreneurial abilities that our country has, we certainly will be a big force. And another big factor is the trust.
Okay.
Today, when I talk to my counterparts from Europe, my counterparts from US, from many parts of the country, they believe that they would like to procure their entire electronics from India because India is a trusted country. I gave you the example of railway propulsion
trusted
systems.
In the sense of security, or trusted in the sense that security. We will deliver on time?
Security.
Delivery
on time, of course, is there. Quality is, of course, there.
Because that was not expected out of India, that we never keep to the deadlines.
Absolutely not. You are talking of a very old country. I don't think you are talking of today.
But the reason I'm saying it is because when things like bridges and, say dams and those kind of things.
Things have really changed.
10 years, 15 years, 20-year projects.
No. You are talking of, you have a huge experience and you are talking of your past experience.
So, before we wind up, I just want to ask you again about the institutional investors. Do you think that there's a talk that they overvalued the India story, and that is why there is an exit? Do you have any comment to say about the India story being a success story and that you will achieve the Viksit Bharat goal?
See, the way we are growing and our economic growth model, we will be growing at 6 to 8% consistent growth rate. Tell me one major economy among the top 10 economies in the world which can say that we are continuing to grow at 6 to 8% consistently. Not a single one.
Okay.
This is being recognized definitely by the global investor community, and we certainly will see more capital inflows in the coming years. I can very clearly see.
And despite this inflationary pressures which are happening due to the West Asia crisis?
West Asia crisis is a major, in a sense, uncertainty which has got caused because of that for the entire world. What I can say is that our government has handled it much better than any other government in the world. We have been able to shield our citizens, shield our farmers, shield everybody from that big shock because of the kind of steps that we have taken consciously in the past and during the recent times. So our management has been significantly better than any other country's management.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us the
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you.